Tired of pouring endless time, money, and energy into a garden that just won't thrive? There's a smarter, more natural way to grow, a method that taps into the rhythms of the earth instead of fighting against them. That method is permaculture. More than just a gardening technique, permaculture is a philosophy rooted in working with nature to create resilient, productive, and beautiful garden systems that almost care for themselves. For gardeners who crave abundance without exhaustion, understanding permaculture is the first step toward building a garden oasis that lasts. Permaculture is a design science that mimics the structure and function of natural ecosystems. It isn't about planting vegetables in rows or sticking to seasonal trends, it's about thoughtful observation and intelligent planning. In permaculture, every element in the garden has multiple functions, and nothing exists in isolation. It's a web of interdependent relationships. Plants support soil, soil supports microbes, microbes feed the plants, and beneficial insects patrol the entire system. Your role is to guide and connect these natural allies, not micromanage them. At the core of permaculture are a few simple principles that shift how we see our gardens. The first and most powerful is to observe and interact. Before planting a single seed, spend time studying the space. Where does the light fall throughout the day? Where does water naturally collect? What plants already thrive without help? Nature leaves clues everywhere. Start by tuning into the patterns of wind, water, sun, and shade in your space. The more you observe, the less guesswork you'll need later. Another foundational principle is to catch and store energy. That might mean harvesting rainwater in barrels or mulching heavily to trap soil moisture. It also means making the most of your garden's sun exposure by planting heat-loving crops in the warmest spots and giving shade-tolerant species a cooler edge. Composting is another form of energy storage, recycling kitchen waste into soil nutrition. In a permaculture system, nothing is wasted. Everything becomes a resource for something else. Diversity is another critical concept. A conventional garden might be filled with neat rows of the same vegetable, but permaculture encourages polycultures, interplanting different species together. A simple example is the classic Three Sisters combination of corn, beans, and squash. The corn provides a trellis for beans, beans fix nitrogen in the soil, and squash shades the ground, reducing weeds and moisture loss. These kinds of plant partnerships are more resilient to pests, disease, and weather extremes, and they make better use of space and resources. Soil is the foundation of everything, and in permaculture, the goal is to build living soil, not just feed plants. That means no synthetic fertilizers, no tilling, and no chemicals. Instead, you feed the soil with organic matter, compost, worm castings, cover crops, and mulch. Healthy soil is full of life, microorganisms, fungi, and insects all working together to support plant health. As your soil improves, so does your garden's productivity, and your need for outside inputs decreases dramatically. Permaculture also invites you to design in zones. The idea is to place elements based on how often you use or interact with them. Zone 1 is the area you visit daily, like a herb spiral or kitchen garden near the back door. Zone 2 might be your fruit trees or vegetable beds that need weekly attention. Zones farther out can include compost piles, chicken coops, or even wild habitat zones that require minimal maintenance. This design helps you work more efficiently and make sure your garden matches your lifestyle. Water is another area where permaculture really shines. Instead of watering with a hose every day, permaculture gardens are designed to harvest water. Swales, those shallow trenches that follow the contour of the land, slow and soak rainwater into the soil. Mulch, locks in that moisture. Rain barrels capture runoff from rooftops. Even the shape of your garden beds can be used to direct and manage water flow. By managing water wisely, you build resilience into your garden even during droughts or dry seasons. Perhaps the most beautiful aspect of permaculture is how it invites us to slow down and trust nature. This isn't about instant results or perfect symmetry. It's about building systems that become stronger and more abundant with time. A permaculture garden starts humbly, but grows into something lush, balanced, and overflowing with life. It becomes a space where birds nest, bees forage, and food practically grows itself. That's the magic of working with nature rather than against it. For new gardeners, permaculture might seem complex at first, but it truly begins with observation and intention. You don't need a perfect plan or a massive budget, just a desire to understand your land and partner with the living systems already at work. Even small changes, like replacing synthetic fertilizer with compost or grouping plants with mutual benefits, can yield powerful results. Over time, your garden becomes less of a chore and more of a joy. If you're ready to stop fighting your garden and start collaborating with it, permaculture is your invitation to a whole new way of growing. Start small, observe often, and trust that nature knows what it's doing. You'll be amazed at what can grow when you let nature lead. If this guide sparked ideas or helped shift your gardening mindset, hit that subscribe button and share it with a fellow gardener. At Dirt Decoded, we're all about uncovering the deeper wisdom in the soil and building gardens that last. Let's grow smarter, not harder, together.